Folks, we're back for UFC Perth, and I know that you were excited for this card because we had a week off last week as far as UFC content goes, but we are here for UFC Perth, and I've got something really exciting to tell you about. So that's what we're going to start it off with. First things first, you guys all know about CloudBet. This video is brought to you by them. There's a link in the description. You can sign up for CloudBet, and that is what you're going to want to do. But if you want to win some stuff, I've got you covered. Well, they've got you covered. I'm just delivering the message. When you sign up using my link in the description, don't forget that. That's that's probably the most important part. Might be second most, but keep in mind, you're going to want to use promo code Hughes for this. Pretty soon you'll go back to using my promo code. But for now, use my link, this promo code Hughes. You understand? Now, what you're going to do, if you want to win some sick prizes, I'm going to tell you what the prizes are, and then I'm going to tell you how you're going to get there. First prize. 2 VIP tickets to PFL on October 3rd for Hughes versus Nurmagomedov. You get 2 VIP tickets. That's fantastic. But you also get an invite to the Hughes after party. So, you want to hang out with Paul Hughes? Guess what? That's how you do it. At least I assume he'll be there. It's his after party. I guess it depends how the fight goes, huh? But I assume he'll be there. You're also going to get a full slate of CloudBet merch as well as PFL merch, including some signed Hughes gloves. So, Paul Hughes is going to sign some gloves for you. So, there you go. That's first prize. Second prize, you're going to get 2 general admission tickets. Still pretty cool. Still going to go to the event. And you're going to get all the merch I talked about in the previous prize. Third prize, you're going to get the merch I talked about in the 2 previous prizes. So that's pretty sick. Now, how do you get into this? And you're like, yo, 138, I get it. But how do I get this stuff? How do I win this stuff? It's easy. It's all you got to do. Link in the description. Click that sign up. Promo code Hughes. And then every $10 that you wager is going to get you 1 entry into the drawing. There are no limits. Every $10 is going to get you an entry. So if you're just wagering as if you normally do, a lot of times people wager $10 or more, you're good to go. Just do as normal and you're fine. Now, that's going to get you in, right? The more you play, the more you have a chance to win. Now, $10 wagers, that's all I'm saying. However, keep in mind, this runs until September 24th. So we're running out of time, guys. We're running out of time. Make sure you get on this early. Link in the description. Use my link. Don't be silly. Use my link. Use promo code Hughes. We're going to get you the chance to win, all right? So go ahead and click on those. Do that. And now let's get into some fights. We got a heavyweight debut for both fighters that was supposed to be on the Contender Series. And for whatever reason, they moved it to this card. So there's that. We have Brando Pericic. He's taken on Elisha Ellison. Ellison is 5-1 in the career, 4-1 in the last 5. Pericic is 4-1 in the last 5, as well as his whole career, at least in MMA. Some kickboxing prior to that. This fight is weird because when you look at the odds, first off, Pericic opened as the underdog, and now he's a -181 favorite. And Ellison, who opened as the favorite, is now a +158 underdog, and you can get those over on CloudBet. Now, I'm going to tell you right away, I'm being generous when I talk about Ellison here. When I say decent striking and he's got power, it's kind of just because he's big. And decent grappling and decent takedowns, I guess. I'm being generous. I had to write something on the board, boys. We got decent top pressure, ground and pound's fine. All right, I guess. Man, I'm trying not to be mean, but I don't know what the odds makers are seeing, why this line is remotely close. Brando Pericic, he's a solid striker. Dude can kickbox. He comes forward, good combinations. He puts his punches and kicks together. He's got a stiff jab. The only thing that bothers me about his striking is he loves this stupid rolling thunder. Sure, when it lands, it's fantastic, but he throws it way too much, and that'll make you lose a fight. It takes a lot of energy. It's super low percentage, and they end up on the ground looking like a doofus. So the rolling thunder is the only thing that I could see him just totally screwing this up with. He's even decent as a grappler. He's got really heavy ground and pound. He can cage push pretty well. Dirty boxing's there. The only way I see Pericic losing this fight is if he does something stupid with a rolling thunder, ends up on his back, and then Ellison just falls on top and just is able to Donkey Kong him out. You know what I mean? Otherwise, Pericic wins this all day. He should be -700. I don't understand this at all. It's the dumbest thing. Whatever. Let me know what you think. Maybe I'm way off, but I don't think so. I think Pericic has this one, no problem. Let me know what you think. Got a matchup at 135 pounds. Yes, Luana Carolina is moving up to 135 pounds to take on the UFC debutante in Montague. Who is 6-0? Montague is. She is 5-0 in her last 5. That's how undefeated fighters work. 3-2 in the last 5 for Carolina. Now, for Michelle, she is a minus 204 favorite over on CloudBet, and you get plus 177 on Luana Carolina. Now, let's talk about this because it is a very binary fight. Either A happens and that fighter wins, or B happens and that fighter wins. That is how this goes. For Montague, she is very uncomfortable on the feet. We've seen her get boxed up by fighters who are not UFC caliber, and she just lose on the feet until she gets a takedown. And then she wins very impressively. But on the feet, nada. I mean, like, she'll throw some strikes. Don't get me wrong. It's not like she just stands there like, what am I going to do? But she doesn't have the skill there. There's a big gap for her to close on the feet to be the level that she needs to be here. But this is good. She's very solid in her takedowns, not because they're like super skilled, but because she doesn't give up on them. She'll get to the hips, she'll stay there, and she'll start working to get those takedowns. Whatever she's got to do, probably because she knows she needs it. She needs that takedown. And that's the truth here. She needs the takedown. If she does not get the takedown, she's cooked. But she's a solid grappler overall. Once she does get the takedown, she takes her back. She's got good control there. She's probably rear naked choking you. That's how she's won all of her fights. There you go. On the other hand, Luana Carolina, she's going to be the far better striker. She's got good striking defense. She's got good volume. She's a good striker in general. If she gets you in the clinch and you're not getting down to those hips, that tie clinch is nasty. She's got good knees and elbows. She'll mess you up. And she's got decent takedown defense. I know she gets taken down in just about every gosh darn fight she has, but her takedown defense has been getting better. People realize that they can beat her on the mat, so they sell out for the takedowns. She's getting better at that. In this fight here, the difference between some of those, she doesn't have to worry about this whatsoever. She just worries about defense of the takedown, and she's okay. Her striking at like 50% because she's selling out for the takedown defense is still going to be better than what Michelle can do on the feet. At plus 177, that's silly. And UFC veteran, UFC debut with only 6 fights, more than double the experience. Man, I understand she's moving up weight class, but I think it's going to be good for her. I got to pick Carolina here. Everything tells me that if she keeps this on the feet, even for a little while, she's winning most of the rounds, unless she gets finished with the rear naked choke. But this is by far the best fighter that Michelle's fought. So I'm taking Luana Carolina. I don't know. I could be way off, but man, she seems like she should be the side. And I don't know why the line is like this. And this isn't like me trying to pick off the line, but that just confused the heck out of me because I had written down that I was taking Carolina prior to even seeing what the odds are. And then when I saw that, I was like, what did I miss? I don't know. Let me know what you think. I'll see you at 155 pounds here. Jamie Mullarky takes on Rolando Bedoya. Both of these guys have had a rough skid, 2-3 in their last 5 fights. And the odds kind of tell you that, right? This is a tough one to call. Bedoya over on CloudBet is minus 110. Minus 103 is the comeback on Mullarky. Now, when we look at this matchup skill for skill, it's kind of tough to really get a gauge on Mullarky's skill at this point, but we're going to talk about him in a second. First, let's talk about Bedoya. I think he's a pretty good striker. He gets a lot of people saying he's not, but like he's pretty good. And it's not because he's not like the best striker, but he does a lot of things well. He's got good forward pressure. He's got good kicks, the leg kicks specifically. Got good combinations, volume, can counter strike all right. But the problem that people see and they think that makes him a bad striker is he really likes a brawl, and dude can get sucked into a brawl. He's got pretty good takedown defense. It's not amazing, but it's usually good enough, especially because he often has guys on the back foot. It makes it harder to shoot a takedown, so there's that. But yeah, but overall, pretty good. But if he gets taken down, he's probably outmatched here. For Jamie Mullarky, he's a decent striker. He's got good volume and a really stiff jab. But the problem is his striking defense, and his durability is getting worse. At least it had been up until this point. Took a long time off. Maybe that's going to help. But the striking defense just ain't there, and the dude just gets hurt a lot. So that's a problem. But I could definitely see a world where he goes out there and out jabs Bedoya because he has a nasty jab and he has a ton of volume. So he could technically do that, and he might be able to do that. It's just the striking defense and durability that's faded on him makes me just drop his striking down because he just can't stay in extended exchanges like he used to. His grappling, it's decent. He mixes in takedowns well, and he's got decent top control. He could definitely win a top time decision here too. But I think he probably gets knocked out. I'm going to take Rolando Bedoya for that, but it's not a confident pick, guys. I understand that you think every pick I say up here is a lock. It's not. It's just not. And you can stay away from some of these. And I definitely think that would be smart. But this isn't financial advice. Do whatever you want with your money. I don't care. Got a bantamweight matchup with a couple of guys trying to bounce back from their debut losses. Colby Thicknesse, 4-1 in the last 5, only 1 loss in the career. That was the debut in the UFC. Josias, Musasa, same gimmick, 4-1 in the last 5. Only lost that debut in the UFC. Now, when we look at these two, Cloudbet's got you minus 157 on Musasa, plus 139 on Thicknesse. Let's talk about Musasa first. He's a good striker, got tons of power, comes forward, and a heavy leg kick. He's athletic, and he's got cardio. This, on the feet, dude's a physical powerhouse. The dude is a problem there. Now, his grappling, it's decent, right? He's got super powerful ground and pound. His takedown defense leaves a ton to be desired. That said, dude just powers right back up because he's super athletic and powerful. However, his grappling is a step behind, especially in this fight. Now, when we look at Thicknesse, yeah, decent striking, right? He's got good kicks to all levels. He can use either leg. A lot of times he's using that takedown entry to end up striking, which is fine. He recovers quick when he's hurt. He gets hurt a lot, and he backs up. That's a problem. I think if this stays at striking range, the power of Musasa is going to be a big problem for Thicknesse. However, if he gets to grappling range, probably going to have to get a few takedowns because, like I said, powers right back to his feet, and he's only got decent takedowns. But if Thicknesse can get him down, he's a good back taker, and he attacks that rear naked choke very well. He's got good control because he's got long limbs, and those lanky limbs are good for wrapping guys up. He's got good ground and pound, and his takedown defense kind of sucks, but that's because he wants to fight on the mat anyway. He's got good cardio as well, so both guys probably shouldn't gas out. If it stays on the feet, I feel like Musasa probably wins, but then again, dude just lost to Carlos Vera on the feet, who's a jiu-jitsu guy. So, I'm not saying it's like impossible that Thicknesse can land something. At the same time, if it goes to the ground, I think Thicknesse has the advantage there. So I'm going to take Colby Thicknesse. Another fight that I think is kind of tough to call, but I think he just has more options here. So we're going to take him. Let me know what you guys think. Find ourselves at middleweight for this one. Andre Petroski makes the long flight over to Perth to take on Cam Rowston. Rowston is a plus 132 underdog over on Cloudbet. The comeback on Petroski is minus 150 as the favorite. When we look at these two guys, Rowston is 4-1 in his last 5 fights, 3-2 for Petroski. Now, this is Rowston's UFC debut, right? He had that one loss came in the last 5, came on the Contender Series his first time. His second time on the Contender Series, he got a good win. He was an underdog, came in, got the win. We told you he was going to get it. We picked him there, so remember that. Check out the Contender Series breakdowns. They'll probably pop up at the end of this. But either way, for Cam Rowston, 4-1 in the last 5, 3-2 for Petroski, but he's been fighting at the UFC level, so there is that too. So you got to take some sort of level of competition into the factor. Let's talk about Cam Rowston. Now, he's going to be the better striker here. Rowston's got pretty good striking overall. He's got good volume. The 1-1-2 is kind of his best combination. He just 1-1-2. Sends that down over and over again. That's his best combo. He does have some other good stuff. The knees up the middle I do like, and he does mix his strikes together pretty well. Meaning knees, elbows, punches, kicks, all the whole thing, right? And he puts out pretty good volume, but his striking defense is, he's kind of, he's the battle giraffe, right? Dude fights like a giraffe. He moves his head around like this, but his arms aren't here. Giraffes have their hands down. Or they don't have hands. They have like legs, but 4 of them. So either way, I just told you all about giraffes. Regardless, they're not very good at keeping their guard up. So that's what you need to know. His striking defense isn't the best. His striking offense is pretty good. You ever watch giraffes fight? That's interesting. Look it up. It's pretty fun. Back to the breakdown. Good grappling for Rowston, but not super good. Like, I barely gave him good. I almost went decent, but he does have some things I like. He has a decent single leg. So if he gets on top, he's got decent control. He can use that single leg to do it. I don't think that's going to happen here. I highlight it because we've seen it, but I don't think that's his path. Like, I don't think he's going to out-grapple Petroski. I think he needs to keep this on the feet. He's active from his back, though, and this is what he is going to need. He uses his butterfly guard to pretty good effect, right? He, gets those butterfly hooks in, uses it to stretch the guy out, uses that to either go for like a sweep or, get back to his feet, stuff like that. So he uses the butterfly guard pretty well. He also will attack arm bars and triangles to create space. And he's a long dude. So being able to use the lengthiness of his body to go for submissions like that, they create some space. It's hard to get your legs through if you're that long because, it's hard to move something longer through a smaller space. So creating space with like a triangle attack or a arm bar can get you that space you need to get back to your feet. So those are things you like for Rowston in the grappling, but he's outmatched in the grappling here from my estimation. Striking, he has an advantage. So let's talk about Petroski's striking. It's basically set up by his grappling threat, and he's got decent enough power in the hands. He's kind of a big dude, right? He's kind of like a muscular guy. So he can hit pretty hard, but he loops his shots, and his durability hasn't looked great. Now, He's only got 4 losses in the career. So it's not like he's just getting knocked out left and right. But we've seen the guy get wobbled quite a bit. And we've also seen him get knocked out by a hip, which I do people give him a lot of crap for that. I kind of get it. Because, like, I've shot a hard takedown on someone before and, like, kind of like, you know, not like knocked myself out, like kind of like he did, but, you know, where you like, oh, that was a little more impact than I expected. It's not, you know, somebody's got a hard, like, stop with the hip. You could feel it, you know, but yeah, I don't know. I'm grasping here. Either way, the grappling, though, that's what he needs to do to get this done. If he can stick to a grappling heavy game plan, he probably can do what he needs to do as long as he doesn't get knocked out on the in-betweens. He's got solid grappling with good takedowns, good control, and he works to advance his position to where he needs to get it, and he just uses these 3 things right here. He's going to be able to get a boring top-time decision, and that's what I think he is going to be trying to do. He's got good enough takedown defense. I don't think the single leg's going to be a thing. Got a tight squeeze if he gets a hold of the neck, but he doesn't really go for the finish super often on the mat, which is probably smart to get the win, but at the same time, you know, fans don't usually love it. The submission defense has been, you know, so I mean, maybe, but no, what I think really happens, and not nothing, but I'm not a big Petroski guy, right? I don't quite like the guy, and if he got knocked out, I wouldn't be upset. That'd be fine. But I do think he wins. I think he top times Rowston. Unfortunately, we're going to take Petroski to get the top time decision. But hopefully Rowston knocks him out. We've got a welterweight matchup here where Jonathan Micallef is the underdog at plus 109. You can get that over on Cloudbet. And he's taking on Oban Elliott, who is a minus 123 favorite. Both of these guys are 4-1 in their last 5 fights. When we look at them skill for skill, for Oban Elliott, decent striker, right? It's the pace that kind of makes him seem like a better striker than he may be. And the durability. Dude's all heart, can take a punch, just keeps on coming at you. His Contender Series fight, I don't know how that dude survived and then took over. The beating he took was incredible. So the durability's there. He's got tons of volume. Like I said, that pace. And he's got basic combinations that you can put together all right. So it's a lot of just outworking you. Good grappling as well. His takedowns come under strike. So when guys throw their punching combinations or whatever, he says, oh, here's the punches coming here. Boom, shoot right under it. That's where he gets his takedowns. Pretty good ground and pound, decent takedown defense. That's Oban Elliott in a nutshell. On the other side, for Micallef, this guy's a good striker. I'd say a little bit better and cleaner striker than Elliott, and I think that's because of the kicking game. But he's got a good 1-2 that leads into his takedowns. That's what you like to see. He's also got pretty darn good kicks to all levels, and those kicks are nasty. We saw him use those to great success in his last matchup, where he kind of surprised me on his level, making a debut, doing darn good, beat Josias, and looked good doing it. Striking defense still leaves a little bit to be desired, but you know, neither guy is known for their striking defense here. In the grappling, Micallef is also a pretty good grappler. He's got good takedown defense, good takedowns. Like I said, the strikes lead to the takedowns, and he's got good top control. Honestly, I think this is a strange fight to have Micallef as the underdog. I think he wins. So we're going Jonathan Micallef as the pick. I think he gets it done, but let me know what you think. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. We'll find out on Saturday. A matchup at 115 pounds. Loma Lookboonmee, who is 4-1 in her last 5 fights, takes on Alexia Thainara. Thainara is 5-0 in her last 5 fights. Only 1 career loss, and that was quite some time back. So you can understand why she is the favorite over on Cloudbet. They got her at minus 236. The comeback on Lookboonmee is plus 204. When we look at these two skill for skill, I'm going to start with Thainara. She's a good striker with good forward pressure, good volume, and a heavy 1-2. That is what she's going to do, and I think that's her best path on the feet here, too, because she's going to be bigger, because Lookboonmee is probably a natural 105er. But when we look at Thainara, she's a fairly big 115er. So when she comes forward and she's throwing these big, heavy 1-2s, that's going to be a decent range there. So it's like her punching range is Lookboonmee's kicking range, essentially. And I mean, it's not like super drastic. It's not like she's fighting somebody that's like 3'2", but you understand what I'm saying. The size is going to be there for Thainara, and throwing long, rangy 1-2s is going to be her best bet. Good grappler as well. This is probably her actual best bet, but I mean, if she stays striking the 1-2s. But if she's a good grappler, she's got a good body lock and a trip there. I think that's a good way to try to take down someone like Lookboonmee, because shooting down low on those legs, that's hard to do because, Lookboonmee's got, good knees. She's got the ability to clinch you up if you fail it. She's got, there's a lot of things that work for the shorter fighter there. So I think that the body lock, if she crashes the pocket, gets the body lock and works for a trip, that's her best bet there. She does have decent top control. She works to advanced position, and her ground and pound volume it's good. She's going to start throwing hands fast. The one thing that scares me about her grappling and I don't think it's a big deal here, but it could be because anybody can land an up kick, is this woman will just recklessly dive into the guard. If she's got you on your back and she's on her feet, she will just dive in like she's jumping off the diving board at the city pool. Girl's just going right into it, and that, I'm just waiting for the day. I'm not like waiting because I want to see this, but I'm just saying at some point, like, girl's going to just go dive into someone's guard recklessly and eat an up kick, and that's probably not going to go well for her. But outside of that, I think she has a big grappling advantage, and she's got the range advantage on the feet. But where Lookboonmee shines, she's a good striker with a really good body kick. She works it with the front kicks, that switch roundhouse where she just switches the feet and just sticks it, very Thai style. She's also got pretty good ability to strike her way into the clinch, and that's where she gets it done. Girl's clinch, she's got good trips, good elbows, good knees. She controls that clinch really well with that good Thai plum. Does a good job. Decent grappling, right? Their takedown defense is pretty, it's all right. Top pressure is good. If she gets on top, she does all right, but she's very weak off her back. For that, I've got to go Thainara. I understand she's a big favorite. There could be some value on Lookboonmee, sure, but I'm trying to pick a winner here, and I think it's Thainara. Let me know what you think. Light heavyweight matchup where Navajo Stirling, the undefeated 7-0 prospect, 5-0 in the last 5, takes on Rodolfo Bellato, who is 3-0, 1 draw, and 1 no contest in his last 5 fights. Cloudbet's got you covered with plus 203 on Bellato, minus 235 on Stirling. Now, we've got an interesting one here because Bellato, decent striker, right? Just decent. He's got good front kicks and knees up the middle, decent amount of power. The calf kick's pretty good, but he throws a lot of single shots, and his striking defense is pretty poor. However, dude recovers. You could bring this guy to the edge of that cliff, about to fall off and be gone, and then somehow he just rises from the ashes and comes back. We've seen it multiple times now. He's a pretty good grappler, but he lacks the takedown ability to really get it to the mat consistently. Every now and then, but it's not super consistent. His takedowns are kind of But he does end up in the cage push a lot. He's pretty good there. If he does end up getting it to the mat, he's got good top control. He's active from his back if he ends up on bottom, and he will attack submissions. So probably the better grappler here. I don't think that's crazy to say. He's taking on pretty much a pure kickboxer in Navajo Stirling. Navajo Stirling, he's a good striker, works the body. That's a good thing here because sure, Bellato has been darn near knocked out, however many times, but there's one thing that will put you down regardless of how durable you are. That's a liver shot. You get punched in the liver, your body just shuts down. It's not a choice. You can't make your liver more durable. So working the body might be the best path to get rid of a guy like Bellato. He's got a good kick variety, does Stirling. He's accurate, feints really well, mixes up single shots and combinations so to keep the opponent guessing. Controls range pretty good, but he is open to straight shots as counters because for whatever reason, when he's doing his stuff, the down the middle straight shots end up just wide open at times. And it's kind of strange because that's how in his last fight he was able to get, was it Ellison? Was able to get pretty good shots down the middle. It was because he would throw his stuff, and then all of a sudden here is just wide open right there. So the hooks and things like that, they're not landing super well, but those straight shots, they do. He's got a good clinch. Stirling can get a hold of that clinch, land the knees, break away pretty clean when he wants to do that. Decent takedown defense. He's got a decent cage push as well offensively, and that's kind of usually the first bit of grappling that you see kickboxers do well is the cage push because it's kind of the hybrid area between grappling and striking. So there's that. Now, when we look at these two, Bellato has just been skating by on some BS lately, right? I mean, let's go back to the Ihor Preteria fight. A lot of refs stopped that fight. Bellato was dead to rights, but somehow the ref didn't stop it, and Preteria emptied the tank. Okay, there we go. The Crute fight, he gets a draw after also nearly dying. And then the no contest against Paul Craig, which, come on, that's like a cartoon, right? I don't think he gets away from this one. I think Stirling gets this done. I feel like he's going to be the much better striker. Hopefully, he doesn't fall into the trap of just gassing himself out trying to get rid of Bellato and then just falling apart after that. Because if so, we could be looking at another draw. But let me know what you guys think. I think Stirling gets it done. I think he gets him out of there at some point. And I will 265-pound matchup. Justin Tafa, the UFC veteran, takes on the newcomer, Louie Sutherland. And Cloudbet's got you covered on the odds. Tafa's the favorite at minus 115. And the comeback is plus 101 on Louie Sutherland. So a close fight. When we look at these guys on their last 5 fights, we got Tafa at 2-2 in a no contest. That no contest was the eye poke with Austin Lane. He then came back and knocked the dude out. Sutherland, 4-1 in the last 5. His losses are coming to some pretty high-level PFL guys typically, so no big deal there. Did fight in the PFL, as you probably assumed by what I just said. And then he moved on to, what was the LFL? Something like that. But either way, let's break this fight down. So for Justin Tafa, We know the dude's just a striker. He's got nothing in the grappling, like not at all, right? But if he stays on the feet, dude's got some good striking. He's got power, works the body, he'll kick your legs, he's got good counter strikes, and he's durable, typically durable. The counter strikes, it's not like he's like setting up these like elaborate counters, but if you come in on him, dude is going to put you down. So that's what happens. Dude can strike. Nothing in the grappling. On the other hand, Louie Sutherland, he's a pretty good striker as well, right? He's got decent power. Nothing, not like Tafa power, but he's got decent power. He's got good combinations for the most part. Frequent leg kicks, not heavy leg kicks like Tafa has, but he keeps them going, right? So they add up. We've seen guys have to switch stances on him because he's been kicking the leg. He pokes his jab out there often. He'll double it up. He'll triple it up, all that good stuff. But sometimes he just does this thing where he just like, I don't know, wants to get in close. And he'll just put his hands down and start doing this and coming in out of nowhere. I don't know why he does it. It's the weirdest thing. And that's going to get him knocked out by Tafa if he does that. If he doesn't do that, and if he goes to this game plan, probably get to win because they're not good takedowns, but they're decent. And often what happens is he doesn't shoot in low enough. So like, and he wants to shoot a takedown like for the legs. You can do upper body takedowns. He's not trying to do that. He's trying to get to the legs. But he's a big boy. And like getting low is kind of hard. The knees don't like it. The knees don't like that. So what he does is he like kind of halfway does it and gets in and tries to shoot down low on the legs, and he can't. And then he just ends up pushing him against the cage. That's okay. Like, it's not ideal. You want to get the takedown because you waste all the energy trying to do it, but cage push will win you a fight too. So it's fine. But if he gets the takedown, he's going to top time Tafa for the rest of the round because Tafa's not getting back up because he just doesn't grapple. I don't know. His grappling's not good. But he could also knock out Sutherland. So I understand why the line's close, right? I do. But like, just based on the fact that I'm going to give Sutherland enough credit to say the guy probably got some stuff from his coaches saying, hey, dude, you just need to get on top of this guy. Shoot a good takedown. And I think he's going to do it. So I'm going to take Sutherland. But gosh, am I just not confident in that whatsoever. Let me know what you guys think. 155 pounds. Charlie Campbell takes on Tom Nolan. Both guys are 4-1 in the last 5. Both guys really similar records, 9-1 versus 9-2. Cloudbet's got you covered with a -152 on Tom Nolan and a +134 on Charlie Campbell. For this matchup here, we're going to talk about Charlie Campbell first. He's a good striker with good power and an absolutely solid leg kick. But the problem with that leg kick is it leaves him wide open because when he throws it, he's here, right? Landing that big, heavy shot. Hands are down. Leaves him wide open to a counter, and a long guy like Tom Nolan can take advantage of that. Campbell's takedown defense is pretty good. Not like lights out, but pretty good. Tom Nolan, he's more of a striker anyway for the most part. Sure, he can grapple, but he's more of a striker anyway. Nolan's got pretty good striking with good knees up the middle, good combinations, and good volume. In the grappling, decent there. Ground and pound, he uses his length really well. I think we're getting a striking fight for the most part. I think it's going to go with Tom Nolan. I think he's going to be able to land that counter shot, and I think he's going to be able to take over, and I think it's Tom Nolan getting the win. But it's a close fight, competitive fight for a reason. Let me know what you guys think. All right, we got Jake Matthews finally getting his wish to fight Neil Magny here in 170 pounds. And he's been calling him out for ages. Jake Matthews is now 4-1 in his last 5. He's taking on Neil Magny, who's 2-3, but that 2-3 is a bit misleading because those 3 losses are all to the best competition that you could get in the division, essentially. I mean, like, some of the best, right? I mean, guys like Michael Morales, Ian Gary, etc. Like, Neil Magny is not losing to just schmucks, right? But Jake Matthews has looked really good. He's looked career best. He was an inconsistent fighter. I used to have that written right here every single time he fights. He's kind of, 4-1, it's hard to say that's inconsistent, right? I mean, consistently winning fights. So, okay, here we go. Let's break it down, but first let's talk about the odds because Cloudbet's got you covered with this one. Neil Magny, a +376 underdog, and I can tell you before I make my pick that is value because Neil Magny is gosh darn good. Dude's got 30 career wins and only 13 losses, and he's fought some of the best guys in the division as well. There's value there regardless of who I'm going to pick, and I'll tell you who I'm going to pick here in a minute. But +376 for, it's probably the best. I think that's the best line available right now. But -461 on Jake Matthews. Yeah, what do you parlay in that? I don't know. So whatever. But let's break this down. For Neil Magny, dude's a good striker. He's got good long straights. People often forget that his striking's pretty good, but he's got good elbows, and his striking defense is pretty good as well. Sure, there are guys that are knocking him out, but like, they're the top guys in the division. In general, the dude's a good striker. He's got good grappling too. He's got decent takedowns. Not the greatest, but it's decent. Good cage push. Dude can just smother you against the cage for 3 rounds if he needs to. Top pressure's there. He's got great cardio. You're not going to out-cardio Neil Magny. So there's a lot to say there. But on the other side, for Jake Matthews, his striking has come a long way. Dude's a solid boxer, solid striker in general, but definitely boxer. Good combinations, good counters. That S looks like it's part of the R. I'm going to fix that, guys. It's going to bug me. How about that? Good counters. I'm sorry. He's got good movement on the feet, like just laterally, forward, backwards, things like that. He's accurate, and he's got good head movement as well. You see him getting in and out of the way with the head movement. He's got good durability. There's a lot to like in the striking here. He doesn't use a ton of kicks. Yes, he does kick, but it's like primarily boxing style. He's a good grappler. Doesn't go to it much anymore. Good ground and pound, good back takes, good rear naked choke. I don't know that he's going to out-grapple Neil Magny either, so there's that. Honestly, I'm going to take Jake Matthews for 2 reasons. One, I think his upward trajectory is really going to help him a bit. I think he's gotten rid of the inconsistency, and I think this is a much closer to home fight for him, so there is that. But, I have very little confidence in him to win, so you bet your bottom dollar that I ain't going to be playing him at this line, and I might have something on that side. So, I'll take Jake Matthews. So, the dude that's always throwing a temper tantrum in the comments when I pick an underdog doesn't have an opportunity to do that here. But if you forgot, I give you a ton of underdogs at Noche, and guess what? They cashed. Correa, how many people were on Alden Correa? Not very many. I picked a big underdog. Guess how many people in the comments are like, you're stupid picking underdogs? Not as many that week for some reason. Probably because they got tired of me calling them out. But I'm just telling you, sometimes the big underdogs win. In fact, I picked quite a few of them. So if you're that dude and you know who you are, get out my comments. But anyway, let's move on to the next fight. Thank you guys for tuning in. Y'all are really going to make me give you a prediction on this fight, aren't you? Okay, we'll start off. Well, it's the 205-pound division. I can tell you that, at least pre-weigh-ins, that seems to be the case. I think that's what we're going to end up with. But we've got a fight between 2 guys that how can you be good? How can you be confident in either of these guys? Look at Jimmy Crute. Jimmy Crute has 1 win, 2 losses, and 2 draws in his last 5 fights. What is that? That's ridiculous. On the other side, Ivan Erslan, he's 2 wins and 3 losses in his last 5. I don't actually know which record I think is more impressive. Is it the fact that Jimmy Crute somehow got 2 draws in his last 5 fights, which seems crazy? Or is it the fact that there's 2 wins on the Erslan side and only 1 on the Crute side? I don't even know. Either way, somehow our good friends over at CloudBet were able to come up with odds for this fight, and they have Jimmy Crute at -179 and +156 on Ivan Erslan. So when we look at this matchup, Erslan is a good striker, I would say. He's got a stiff jab, keeps the guard high, pretty good power in the hands, decent counter striking, and he recovers quick when he's hurt. I do think he's probably the cleaner striker of the 2. I don't know that he's necessarily going to win all the striking exchanges, but I think he's probably the cleaner striker of the 2. He has decent takedown defense, and he will work to get back to his feet, but I do think he has a grappling disadvantage here. When we look at Jimmy Crute's a decent striker. He's got plenty of power, and he's wild. The wild is actually kind of a good thing sometimes because it lands some shots that probably have no business landing. But his striking defense is just not there. Decent grappling, decent takedowns, and he's got pretty good ground and pound volume, but his control suffers because of it. So, yeah, I don't know. Give me the underdog in Erslan. We're going to do that. Let me know what you think. See you at 145 pounds where Jack Jenkins takes on Ramon Tavares. Now, Tavares is 3-2 in his last 5. Likewise for Jenkins. CloudBet's got you covered on this one as well. -268 on Jenkins, +229 on Tavares. Now, when we look at this matchup here, there are things to like on both sides. Very much so. For Tavares, he's got good striking, fast hands. His cross, he has a laser of a cross that he uses to counter leg kicks. I feel confident he lands this at least once because Jenkins throws a lot of leg kicks. Good leg kicks, we'll talk about it in a minute, but Tavares can counter a leg kick by just, as soon as they throw it, boom, right down the pipe. That punch comes sailing straight through and lands. And I feel like he gets it once. Now, does he finish him there? Maybe, but if he doesn't, does it happen again? Does Jenkins learn from that? That's going to be the deciding point in this fight from what I can tell pre-fight. Counters are done while moving forward as well. So he can be coming forward still as soon as that leg kick comes, that punch comes out. He does a really good job at it. And once his opponents are thinking that he's only a boxer, dude starts throwing those body kicks. Does a good job. Good front chokes. He uses those as his takedown defense. He kind of sprawls and goes for the front headlock position and works from whatever he's got there. Doris Anaconda. Kind of a guillotine, not as much, but yeah, you know what I mean. You get what I'm saying, the front chokes. So there's that. Now, I think he's going to be dependent on countering the leg kicks of Jenkins. Now, for Jenkins, he's a good striker as well. The leg kicks, right? The leg kicks are heavy. Dude's breaking legs out there, and it's like a pretty consistent thing, actually, which is surprising. He's got a stiff jab, though, as well. Works the body well. He can fight out of either stance, which I think is going to help him because I think he's going to need to be able to switch his stance here against Tavares to kind of counter that counter, which is getting layers there. Combinations, I think he needs to mix in the takedowns. He's a pretty good grappler. He can mix in the takedowns. He has decent top pressure, and his takedown defense is good. Problem is he starts slow. He's probably going to give up the first round. That's probably when he's going to get caught with that counter strike. I do think he bounces back after that. I think he probably gets dropped in the first off of that cross. Maybe he doesn't get dropped, but I bet he gets like set back a bit. And I think from there he says, oh, that was stupid. I probably should fix that. And then from there he takes over. So I'm going to take Jack Jenkins to win a 29-28 decision. But at the same time, if Tavares puts him out with that first, cross off the leg kick counter, I wouldn't be that surprised. But let me know what you think. We've made it to our main event where Carlos Ulberg takes on Dominic Reyes in the 205-pound division. And guys, this is your only reminder, the last reminder, the first reminder, the only reminder. And you know what? First, let me tell you that I know that there's quite a few of you that watch this breakdown every single week. A couple thousand of you for sure. And most of you are fantastic. Most of you are here every week. Good people. Maybe you don't leave a comment. Maybe you do. Maybe some of you are just, hey, good stuff. You just drop a little like emoji in the comments. I appreciate those things. And most of you fantastic human beings have already left a like on this video, and you didn't need me to remind you, but sometimes people forget, and that's okay. There are a lot of you who are absolute scumbags in the comments too, and I hope you get hit by a train. Sorry about it, but for the good people, thank you so much for being here, and I know you probably already left that like on the video, and if you haven't, please go ahead and do that now. It does help the channel a lot. It doesn't cost you anything. I've been putting out this content for free for just over 3 years now, actually. 3 years was last month in August. So just over 3 years I've been putting out this stuff for free for you guys. And a like takes a couple of seconds. I know if you're watching on a TV, it's a little more, a little more time consuming, but you can pull it up on your phone, do the connection thing, hit the like. I'm explaining this to you because I know a lot of people that are now watching on TVs didn't know you could just pull it up on your phone and it shows it right there and it's like connected. So you can hit the like there as well as read the comments, things like that. So guys, thank you for doing that. Let's go ahead and break down the main event. Carlos Ulberg takes on Dominic Reyes. Carlos Ulberg has one loss in the career, but he's 5-0 in his last 5 fights. This is definitely a title eliminator for him. For Dom Reyes, kind of the same. Could be a title eliminator. Dude's 3-2 in his last 5, but after getting knocked out brutally 3 times, dude's come back and put together a nice little tidy win streak. So 3 wins in a row. He's looked good. He's back, if you ask anybody. He is back, but we don't know that yet. We don't really know that yet. Because the guys he's beaten, they didn't really test that durability. That's why there's a question mark there. We'll talk about it in a minute. But, I mean, he looked good in the wins, so it's like we can't say he's not back, but we don't know, okay? Hate me if you must. When we look at the odds, again, Cloudbet's your friend. They got you covered. You can use the link in the description. Plus 213 for Dominic Reyes, minus 247 for Carlos Ulberg. We're going to talk about Dominic Reyes first. Both these guys are darn good strikers, by the way. The grappling is, we've seen them grapple. It's fine. It's not like either of them are bad grapplers necessarily, but they're strikers. They're probably going to strike, okay? For Dom Reyes, dude's a solid striker. Good forward pressure, plenty of power. Dude hits you, you're probably going to feel it. He's got good combinations, good volume. His counters, that step back cross that he does, that little pole cross, boom, boom. It's a southpaw cross. I guess I was standing orthodox, but you know what I mean. It's absolutely fantastic, right? Durability, we don't know yet. Like, it was looking rough, but who is he getting knocked out by? Like, a lot of them are pretty gosh darn good. Ryan Spann, maybe not, but the rest of them are pretty good. So it's like, okay, I get it. But he didn't get knocked out in his last 3 fights, so is he back? Is he not? I don't know. It's hard to say. But when we look at Carlos Ulberg, there's no concern there, right? He's a solid striker. Sure, he's not just knocking everybody dead. Alonzo Menafield he did, and Menafield's looked pretty good lately. But because we've been cashing tickets on Menafield as an underdog. They keep putting him as an underdog. Dude keeps winning us money. Let's go, Menafield. But except for that fight, we definitely didn't have him winning that one. But I don't know if we did or not, actually. But either way, for Carlos Ulberg, he's got good combinations. The leg kick, he's just going to keep touching it, right? He's just going to keep touching the leg. That could be a problem with that nasty cross from Reyes, but either way, good counters for Ulberg as well. The counter hook on the way in is something you can look for. If Reyes comes in tight and then gets hit with that hook off the lead, that is something that works well for Ulberg. He's got a good ability to keep his range, decent power, not the same as Reyes, but decent. It's like, obviously, if you're knocking out Menafield one punch, he got some power, right? Because Menifield's usually durable as heck. I think that was kind of a thing where he kind of caught him cold. I don't think it was quite that his power was super. I mean, it was the first thing that happened. But anyway, doubles up the lead hand well. The jab to the lead hook is a combo that Ulberg throws that I really like. I think this one's interesting because I do think the knockout upside is there for both guys because Reyes hits really hard, but the durability we just don't know, right? So there's that. I think that the decision upside could be there for both guys as well because you got a guy like Ulberg who's probably going to do just a little bit more of like mixing up the strikes, but the more impressive strikes are probably coming from Reyes because when he lands, it's going to be bigger. It's 5 rounds, so there's that. I don't think either guy really has cardio problems necessarily. I'm going to take the guy that I think is going to mix it up a little bit better in Carlos Ulberg. But per usual, I'm most of the time passing on the main event. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I make stupid decisions and I bet on Caio Bahaio. So that happens sometimes. But I'm not doing that here. I'm passing, guys. We're staying away. I'm telling you, I'm staying away. You do whatever you want. This is for entertainment only. And I'm telling you that again because most of you guys, not most of you guys, the few of you that comment that can't read, I need to tell you that vocally. So that you couldn't read at the beginning. That's okay. I understand. You don't have to read to be able to watch this channel. That's okay. I can walk you through it. But this is for entertainment only. Do what you want to do. I'm not here to tell you what to do. In fact, I don't want to tell you what to do. We're just having a good time. I'm taking Carlos Ulberg as a pick. You do what you want. I'll see you guys soon. Check out the Contender Series breakdowns. They should have popped up on screen. I'm breaking down the PFL Europe with Pick'em this week, probably Thursday. But check out some of that stuff, and I'll see you soon.